Welcome everybody. In this video we're going to take a look at the device independence and support for mobile devices that CloudCalc offers. Probably in whatever pipe stress program you're using today, you're tied to your PC typically, which is going to be in your office. That means that it's very difficult for you to review calculations or make changes or simply analyze systems when you are not sitting in your desk in your office. That means at home, you can't review when you're on a business trip. You can't make changes when you're in a client's office. You can't reanalyze. And when you're on the job site, you can't potentially do what-ifs to various changes that might be dictated by the particular variations in as-built variations. So how many times have you done something like this? You're finishing up your analysis. Let's say we can add a temperature here. Let's make this 315 degrees. Save that. Set up your load cases, static load cases, operating sustained expansion, do the analysis. Check the results, code compliance. Okay. We pass. Sustain, we passed expansion. Okay, and everything looks okay on your system. And then you happen to go to your client's office to report that everything is fine. And once you get there, maybe they tell you that there's been a change. It's no longer 315 degrees, but rather 335 degrees. Now at this point, you've logged out, your computer is back in your office. You can't really do a check and make sure that that works okay. But if you have CloudCalc, it doesn't matter. You can simply ask your client, do you have an available PC I can get to? Do you have a Mac? Do you have even potentially an iPad? And barring all that, even a telephone. So let's say you've managed to borrow an iPad from your client and you wanted to see the effect of changes to temperature. Simply pull up the Safari browser, go to the same URL as you would have used in your office PC, type in the same logon credentials that you would have done on your PC, click here, and you should have access to your the model that you were last working on in the office. Here it is. Pretty much anything that you could have done in the PC, you can do on the iPad. There are a few differences. Instead of splitting the screen with the data entry screen and the graphics, you get one or the other simply by clicking here. There's no context menu. There's no mouse, so you can't right click in order to bring up a context menu. So if you do a selection and you want to edit it, you go to this graphic editing menu, which has all the same things, and it will change if you selected nodes versus elements. How do you select element? Instead of double clicking, you push down longer with your finger on this. You hold it down a little bit longer and it'll select. Or again, we can simply push here, push the icon, and use your finger to drag a box around the items that you want to select. Same sort of thing, slight variations. The iPad, iPhone support the typical, the gesture language that's supported by mobile devices. We might want to go through this. Let's say we want to edit the temperature. We can go graphic editing, piping loads, temperature. Let's see, we didn't want to add, we want to change this, so we can go edit, and we wanted to make this 335 degrees. We save that, and now we want to see what the difference is made. Let's go back and check our static load cases just to make sure. We still have operating expansion, sustained and expansion. That looks right. If we wanted to look at any of these other elements here, we could select, for example, this one. Let's turn our nodes on. If we select here, that's 40 to 50. Here's all the information associated with this. Let's go ahead and do the analysis. We run. Pretty fast. It's as fast as it is on the PC. There's our displacements, forces, element stresses, code compliance, restraint loads, all here. If we look at our code compliance, we want to see if we pass. This is our operating case, sustained case. That passes. and expansion case, take a look. It seems to fail. And if we take a look graphically, we see that we are going to fail at this elbow. So now we're going to have to make a change, but let's say that you've got an appointment out at a job site. Maybe you have to go, and by the time you get to the job site, you got to figure out some sort of solution that you can do to make this new arrangement work. So log out, say so long to the client, head off to the job site, and let's see what you can do there. By the time you get to the job site, you may have some ideas in your head of how you can fix this overstress problem. And in order to evaluate it, of course, being device independent, you can get on CloudCalc and try out your what ifs or your changes. You may ask around the job site, does anyone have a PC? Not available. Maybe an iPad if that's not available either. Worst comes to worst, you can always, in an emergency, reach into your pocket, pull out your smartphone, sign into CloudCalc. Go to whatever browser your phone supports, use that same URL, go to the sign-in menu, type in your normal login credentials, log into Pipe Stress, and you should see the same model that you were most recently viewing. In order to, it's like the iPad, you, instead of having the data entry screen on one side and the graphics on the next, we flip between the two. The phone being a bit smaller, you don't have the side-by-side information, but you need to move all the way down to see everything. But we can easily go between graph and text. Okay, so here might be the change, the fix that you're interested in doing. Let's first evaluate that, yes, there is the overstress. Do a quick analysis, move to code compliance, go to the expansion case, move back to graphics, and yes, you are overstressed in that case. So what we might want to do is change out this rigid restraint to a spring hanger, for example. So turn on the nodes, do a quick, or do a redraw, turn on the nodes. We want to change item 50 from a restraint to a spring hanger. Go do a select node 50, it's highlighted here. Go to our menu, graphic editing, restraint hanger menu, click restraints, and we see that here at this particular node there's a Y restraint. Let's remove that, click delete, okay. So it's gone, and now we're going to want to add a hanger. So go back to graphic editing. The context menu doesn't work in this particular case, so we have to use the graphic editing menu. And we'll go and design a spring hanger here. Defaults, we'll accept whatever defaults we have here. Spring hanger is present. Because we have a spring hanger, we need a new set of load cases. So we go to input, static load cases, initialize the load case. We'll get a rigid restrained weight. We'll get a free thermal. We'll get operating with the spring, sustain with the spring, and expansion with the spring. So we can now go ahead and run the analysis, static, go through, look at what spring hanger was designed. It's a PTP1, size 90, etc. Cold load, hot load. We can go and check the code compliance for the, it would now be case 5, 4 or 5, and we go out and take a look, and we now pass. No more overstress, no more red. And if we look at this, we can check the ratios here. 46% is the worst case, and everything passes. So what you see here, and of course, when you go back to your office, you'll find that the that the model reflects the changes that you made here, both at the client's office and out in the field. So the beauty of CloudCalc, because it's on the cloud, device independence, it can be you can access your work and make changes, reevaluate, do what ifs from wherever you are, whether that's your home office, a colleague's office, a client's office, a hotel on a business trip, or of course the job site, from any sort of device such as a PC, a Mac, a tablet, or a smartphone. So anyway, play around with this, let us know your thoughts, and Appreciate your time and effort in this. Thank you.